What's happening, people? My internet is giving me problems, so this video may be a little bit testy. Let's see how it goes. Give you guys a report on my follow-up with Shields and Terrence Crawford. So I also contacted them via Facebook. All right, so it's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm yet to try and see if I can find out on other social media I can contact them via. And I'm looking for their responses. I believe they will respond. So we're looking forward to that. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that, as well as my internet feed is not very good, so uh, I'm just giving you guys a quick update on these things. Like I said before, I am 100% confident that Clarissa Shields can go 3 rounds with Terrence Crawford. 100% confident. My confidence comes from Terrence Crawford's performance, and that a lot of people don't realize Terrence Crawford is not a knockout artist. That's not what he does. Um, and he has not really stopped anybody other than Ndongo within 3 rounds. He's not. And the reason that is because he's not a knockout artist. He's a boxer. So there are many, many reasons why I am absolutely 100% confident. One, Clarissa is much bigger than him. She's just much bigger than him. And that size does count. And while getting caught on the chin could put a guy down or knock him out if you hit right, I just don't think that she would get caught like that. So it would be an interesting fight, though, to see the best versus the best, pound for pound, #1 female fighter in the world against pound for pound #1 male fighter in the world. So definitely want you guys to see it, and myself, and just get confirmation once again, contrary to a lot of you other guys' opinions about these things. Saw D Styles questionnaire or whatever he did, poll that he put out. Again, he's talking about crazy stuff that I said. And it's amazing because what I realized is there's a disconnect between fans of boxing and what actually boxing is about. There's a big disconnect. Fans really perceive things in some real weird ways. Hybrid 95 was like, you know, if any of those guys face Chocolatito, because Hybrid 95 actually has boxed, Chocolatito would kill them. It's like he pieced them up. And he knows why that would be so. It's just a vast difference in knowledge, you know. None of these guys know how to protect their bodies properly. None of these guys know how to move in the ring properly. Chocolatito's mastered these things, okay? None of these guys know how to place punches properly. I mean, it's just a vast difference. I mean, I could just see him counterpunching a guy and that's it, on the chin. You know, because all of you guys that are talking, you don't understand that it takes repetition, that it takes muscle memory. It's not just a knowledge, it's not just a cognitive knowledge of something. You have to be training so that it becomes a part of you. You ain't going to just protect your chin just like that, just because you think you know what to do. You're not just going to protect your body just like that because you think you know what to do. You have to do it right too. I've been in martial arts. I know talk is one thing. Understanding cognitively something is one thing. Actually getting your body into position to do it instinctively is a totally different thing. You know? And a lot of you guys talk, like I said, y'all guys run your mouth. You don't really be about it. Y'all not serious about shit. Y'all don't really say what you mean. You say what's convenient or what you think is true. Right? Y'all don't be training every fucking day. Y'all don't be doing gym work. Y'all don't be sparring. Y'all don't be doing all those bag work and drills and shit. So how the fuck you gonna step up to a guy that been doing that all the time? I don't care what his size is. On top of that, you haven't been protecting yourself. You don't know how to defend yourself properly. And then D Style's gonna tell me he sparred amateurs. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? When last you sparred an amateur? When last you did? Muscle memory. If you've not been in boxing, you're talking about a guy that's been in boxing at the top level And he ain't gonna dust your ass. So you telling me Chocolatito, if he's mismatched with the pro and stops the guy within the first round, he ain't gonna do that to you? That's what you're saying because you bigger? Out because y'all always talk about punching power. It's these kinds of things that really just bother me. I mean, boxing fans, y'all supposed to know boxing. This is y'all supposed to know this shit. You know. Then EJ gonna say some real stupid ass shit like a 6-year-old boy if he face you, and what the fuck does that have to do with anything? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? It depends. If that 6-year-old boy has been winning tournaments at the national tournaments, okay, and that 6-year-old boy has been stopping people like Mikey Garcia, we learned he had the power from since he was a little kid. Yes, you have to be careful with that 6-year-old boy, and he could whoop your ass if you ain't careful. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows what to do. It's knowledge that makes boxing different. It's knowledge. Floyd Mayweather was whooping his father's ass at the age of 8 and 9. You watched them sparring, it was incredible. Really fast hands. So you guys gotta understand. Floyd Mayweather been outboxing big grown men, and he's still a kid. So what are you really saying? You guys don't think. Y'all just talk. Y'all just talk out your ass. I'm gonna say it again and again and again because it annoys me. Okay? Of course, Clarissa can go 3 rounds with Terrence Crawford. Of course. She sparred bigger guys, stronger guys than Terrence Crawford. Okay? And y'all need to know this shit. This is common sense. But hey, we're going to see it. We're going to see it. Because you know what? Talk is cheap. I'm gonna actually try and get this to happen. You know, just recently there, Richard Hutchinson was talking about how he was introduced to boxing, and there was a Mexican girl that had him doing pads and doing jab. Okay, a girl introduced him to boxing in the gym and got him in it. And the whole point behind it is not to say, it's to say that there are girls in the gym doing the shit. All right, he was a little kid. I can't remember. He said 8 or 9 or some shit like that. All right, he was just talking about that. And he's a great prospect coming up. And I'm just saying to people that, you have to understand, boxing. You have to understand boxing. You can't be just looking at gender. Y'all looking at the gender of Clarissa Shields. That's it. You're not looking at her experience. You're not looking at men's boxing. It means something. And a lot of you guys just don't, you just don't get it. Size does matter in boxing, right? Y'all even actually was making an argument for me, but in a different way. Y'all talking about Deontay Wilder's power versus Chocolatito's power. And I ain't know shit about that. I can't really pronounce on power, but I can tell you size does matter. Okay? If you're in a boxing fight or a boxing match with Chocolatito, my feet will continue to stop and interrupt, so you'll have to excuse me. But if you're in a boxing fight with Chocolatito or with Deontay Wilder, size will matter. Because your physical body, you could use that to wear down your opponent. Okay? So he might have foot position and shit on you, but you might be able to use your size if you could get on the inside of him to rough up Chocolatito. If you could get on the inside of him. You have to be a professional boxer. You have to know how to get to the inside. You have to know how to clinch up and all that stuff. All right? But as to say for power, that's not easy to explain. Or even to say how hard somebody punches. How hard somebody punches and power is 2 different things, please. Do understand. And again, I'm talking specific things concerning boxing. I'm not making this shit up. Okay? But if you haven't never boxed a day in your fucking life, or you're like D-Style and you sparred amateurs maybe about 20, 30 years ago, you're going to say some real dumbass shit. The people in the boxing world will be looking at you like, what the fuck is he talking about? D-Style be comparing power. You know, Fox be talking about muscle mass and shit like that. That had nothing to do with power. Power is a technique. Power has to do with bone density sometimes. Sometimes. It's the way how the levers move. You can improve your power, but it's a God gifted thing for a lot of guys who are knockout artists. They're just built a certain way that they can do that. All right. Some of them are compact, some of them are long and rangy. Power varies with some fighters. Some fighters, they got their great power at the extension of their punch. Other people have great power with short chopping. It's not about muscle mass. Otherwise, Timothy Bradley would be a great power puncher knocking out everybody. Okay? And little ass Zab Judah wouldn't be knocking out all those people. Okay? Power has to do with technique. DeMarcus Corley was just known for Mr. And Roy Jones Jr., Mr. Hook. They just, the technique and just the way how they throw the hook. Just what it is. Okay? And then another thing people don't know is you ain't stopping shit if you don't set it up. You have to set up the knockout. Right? There are people with heavy thudding hands, but they don't stop people. People like Provatnikov. Tremendous. He grinds you down. He don't really get the stoppages that with that kind of hard hitting force that he has, he should get. Okay? So guys, there's some guys that hit hella hard. They hit really, really hard, but they don't drop opponents. They don't stop opponents. So when we talk about power, we're talking about, being able to punch in such a way that you can get a person to go senseless, unconscious, short circuit them, buzz them. That's what we're talking about when we talk about power. It's not necessarily a knockout, but they get buzzed or they get short circuited. Again, this is stuff that if you've been in boxing, you would hear people in boxing say this stuff. But y'all just go down on mantras, and you know what, you need to be bringing it live. Like y'all need to come to this channel because I actually break down what the fight world is. I'm actually revealing shit y'all motherfucking dumbass didn't know. That's keep coming back to my channel. That's why my channel always relevant. That's why my channel has like 20,000 and 1,000 views on certain videos, hundreds of thousands of views on certain videos. Because I break shit down. I don't say ignorant ass shit that everybody else be saying. Oh, this guy, he got a good chin. This guy got a bad chin. They only say that because if you don't make your chin available, it ain't gonna get punched, right? All right. Everybody talk about Amir Khan's chin, but the thing about it is, it's not so much. His chin be up in the air. He don't have good defense, so he always getting tagged on his chin. You look at Mayweather versus Maidana. When Mayweather got hit flush, where did he get hit? On his mouth. Why? Because his chin was down. He kept his chin dipped. All right. Protect his chin at all times. Khan breaks that rule, and he has his chin out in the air like this. Where Mayweather get? How did he get hit with his chin down? You see, some people like to do a better job of protecting their chin than other people. And even when they get hit on the chin, guys know how to ride punches. Who this is? A Chavez. Nobody getting hit flush on their chin with a cracking shot. Nobody can take that. But it's boxing, and you guys have to watch the nuances of boxing. So I keep talking boxing for you guys to understand. Yes, of course, mentally you can keep a registry of when you get knocked down by. You can keep a registry of when you get knocked down by a punch. Khan got hit on his, I think, on the side of the head here, but Danny Garcia hit hella hard. It wasn't his chin that even. He was in the middle, and Khan trades so much. In the middle of a trade, he gets caught. He gets caught. Khan got his nose. Khan got his nose broken a number of times in fight. All right. Otherwise, Tommy Hearns ain't got no damn chin, but he got a chin. Problem with Tommy Hearns was he was too small at the lower weight classes. It's too small. His defense is behind his jab. You know what I'm saying? My intent is just coming and going, folks. So I'm trying to really get this video out there. All right, so we trying to make that happen. We're gonna try and talk with these two people, see what they say. They will respond to me. I know they will. And you guys making enough noise on the internet for them to respond eventually. They're gonna respond to that. They're gonna say something. It's a good fight. I mean, we're talking Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, but Terrence Crawford versus Clarissa Shields is an interesting fight. I think Carissa's big enough, and Terrence is just the right size to face a Clarissa. I heard him saying he walks around 160, 170. So he says. 70. So he says. He don't look that, but that's what he says. He eat like crazy though. He be eating a lot of burgers and a lot of stuff. He just be eating a lot. So whatever weight he's at, he eating really good. We all know Carissa's much bigger than that. Carissa's like Kovalev size, like 190. She big. Anyway, my point is, y'all need to understand boxing first before we can even have a conversation. Otherwise, some of the things I'm going to say always going to sound strange to you guys. Muscle mass and bodybuilding type and how big and powerful your muscles are have very little to do with boxing. Muscles are have very little to do with boxing. Very little. Well, on Discord, okay, my dude, I'll be having problems with this internet, but I'm going to try and hit you up on Discord. Yeah, there's a lot. Man, this thing keep on signing out. There's a lot to boxing, man. And I'm just surprised, man. D Styles is the guy that said that Errol Spence going to knock out Sean Porter. And it didn't happen. And then he's staring at Sean Porter won that fight. And now he's saying that kind of shit. Listen, man. It's boxing. Intangible always went to town on me about, Anthony Yarde versus Sergey Kovalev. Now, you guys know, I initially said, and I kind of knew in the back of my mind that Kovalev should get it because of the experience he had, right? But then when I saw Anthony Yarde and what he was doing, I said, you know what? I think Anthony Yarde could take this and buy a KO. And I told you guys that. Now that KO. And I told you guys that. Now, the interesting thing about it is, even though I was wrong, was Anthony Yarde almost took it by KO. KO. Like I said, proving my point that what I saw in Anthony Yarde, I can't do that, bro. It don't allow me to do that. It don't have a setting for that. It's probably automatically doing that. Yeah. It's just my internet's bad right now. I'll pay the bill and see if it'll get better. Yeah, and see if it'll get better. Yeah, but shout out to Tommy Temper in the chat. Yeah, but I was saying, so when I looked at that fight and I called it, it was based on the fact that Anthony Yarde showed me skill set. The skill sets I was watching at said he had good. Right. So, that's where I came through and I said, you know what, man, I'm going to pick this dude. Right. And I told you guys I'm riding with him. I don't care. I'm going to ride with him. And that's how I did my pick. And the other picks where I got them wrong, like Guillermo Regendown versus Lomachenko, which I got absolutely wrong. And with Tyson Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko, I still have elite pedigree. And even though he's facing a guy that's a little bit longer than him, that he would, because of his pedigree and the fact has faced longer, taller guys than him and been able to dominate them, that he should be able to do it with Tyson Fury. I underestimated the boxing skill of Tyson Fury, his quickness, etc. And I talked about how, Lomachenko actually was able to, you know, totally outclass Rigondeaux in that fight, right? So at the end of the day, uh, I've gotten some predictions wrong. I've had reasonings behind it. Like from a boxing perspective, I had reasonings behind it, but I was wrong. My basis was that I actually totally misjudged the fighter and did not take certain things into account at all. Okay? But by and large, when I'm talking about fights and I look at fights and I look at fighters, I generally get it right because even if the fighter is my favorite fighter, it don't matter, right? And when I see a fight, I judge it based on what I see and not on what somebody's commentating. It's not, I'm watching that actually what the boxer is actually doing in that ring. So when you look at what the boxer is doing in the ring, and if the boxer is accomplishing then it means they're going according to the game plan. My feet is just coming and going, folks. So that's what you have to look at in a fight. And you have to understand the styles that you're dealing with, what the boxers are trying to accomplish, and if they're successful with that they're winning the fight. Okay? It's really that simple. That's what the 4 criteria is all about, really, at the end of the day. Now, the only question is now, is a style having precedence over another style? If not, then it's a draw. It's really that simple. Okay? Meaning, what I mean by style precedent over another style, the deciding factor will be more than likely clean, effective punches, or it will be defense. You understand what I'm saying? Who's got a better defense? You know, first is if the style that's dealing with is just 2 brawlers, then they're just brawling away. So in that case, it's just a Rocky Zochem robots. You're looking to see if somebody, unless one fighter probably has more power than another, so he's rocking the other more. So there's those kinds of things you look at, the clean, effective punches, and but sometimes it's not about how many punches landed, but what was the big punch that stole around for a fighter or rocked another fighter. So that's what you're looking for, really. All right. Anyways, people, man, we're going to go back to scoring Sugar Ray Leonard versus Thomas Hearns. I got to go check out Tommy Temper. You guys have a good one today. Terrence Crawford matchup that, I'm talking to them. Even if they're interested, even if they talk about if they sparred each other or anything like that, it's also good information because you ain't got nobody sparring somebody and unless they say, man, that work was tremendous, man. But if they spar and if Clarissa has sparred, which she has, she sparred Errol Spence and she sparred a number of other interesting people who are in higher weight classes. And that does count for something because it tells me she can hang with those guys. And that's the whole important point. Again, for those people misrepresenting and saying that I'm saying that she would beat, these top tier guys, I never said that. It was just that I was saying she would last 3 rounds with Terrence Crawford, which I pretty much now absolutely 100% believe. Just looking at Terrence Crawford's body of work as he started to get comfortable in his weight, but he's not really a dude that does that. He's a boxer. He'll break you down. He has a decent power punch, but he ain't no killer like that. So, anyways, I'm going to catch y'all guys